Duamne is saying that it affected the way they played their early game, fact that there was an Evelyn in there. So I want to turn the question on Gambit and Evelyn because they didn't do anything in the early game, but the only chance they really had was in the 2 versus 2, and then it was still a small window.
Yeah, basically, the only pushing lane for H2K was basically like the top lane. They had Morgana and Corki pushing in Thresh and Tristana. What could have happened is that Eve maybe gets the gang on top lane, but the thing was that due to the lane swap or like how it started, basically, Jarvan got topside control early game, so everyone was kind of scared to get into the top side, and she kind of wasted a bit of time around mid lane, was delayed on the red buff because she kind of expected that maybe Lulex comes from red to red or anything like that, but they missed the opportunity to gank top lane, basically make a play, get ahead through the early game, and then have a stronger mid game coming in. And it may have been a misplay, but it may have just been miscommunication.
Yeah, in retrospect, that was their only window. And I'm going to quote you word for word when we were preparing the past week for this game. You said, if H2K manages to get some kind of advantage early and translates that into objectives, there's nothing that can stop them. They can win the game. And
yeah,
behold.
Okay, like I got to take credit for that one, but the important part is for Gambit and for H2K. Like Gambit always seems to start out slow, have like the first 10-15 minutes of the game are like maybe they fall behind like 1-2K. We've seen that versus CW. We've seen that versus another team. I can't remember though. Sorry, but either way, what happens for H2K in the first 15 minutes, however, is that they always achieve control. So if the window is become big enough and the difference has become big enough for H2K to contest every objective without counterplay, especially versus late game scale and comp like Gambit had, it's really easy for them to steamroll, and they did this game.
Yeah, and it was going very well for them, very fast. We actually have a replay up on the screen where Gambit did try to make something happen, but at this point it's already too late, especially when your Maokai is so big.
Yeah, Edward basically trying to get a flash play in, misses the play, then hits the hook on Lulex, which is not ideal. He gets one shot in the teamfight, but the teamfight itself still progresses pretty nicely because Cabo Shard and Diamond are pretty huge due to their ultimates, and they actually get 2 kills onto Lulex, and I think it's going to be Odoemna now, exactly. But then the game mechanic basically works against Pino. He gets binded, then pulls a Pino at Jenkins and basically jumps in and gets one shot, which is not ideal, obviously, as an AD carry, and he misses the timing of getting the reset.
Pino Jenkins. I love that. We got to remember that one. Any conclusions to draw for this one? H2K is now second. What does this mean for Gambit?
For Gambit, it just means that they have to work harder in the next few weeks because they had the ambitions, or they still have the ambitions. Like especially in Diamond, you can kind of see that he wants to work harder, and would probably, like said, he would beat himself 2 years ago and stuff like that. What it means for them is that they have to adapt and basically like maybe get away from some of the picks that they regularly do, like something like the Tristana coming in like every game almost, and they have to kind of find more ways to play the game than just like hope for enemies to throw mid game and then translate into some kind of mid game to late game lead.
Yeah, for Diamond as well. Nidalee and Sejuani banned out. They banned out Rek'Sai, then falling back on that Evelyn. Maybe we're going to have to see something else coming out from him. Before we take a break, though, let's check in with you guys. In the Twitter sphere earlier, we asked you which team do you think will jump into one of the 6 playoff spots and why. The first one is from @Altair7 and writes, H2K are going to make it to playoffs. They are a solid lineup with probably handling picks and bans very well. Solid lineup. Playoff spot, number 1?
Yeah, number 1, not, but I think right now what they're doing right now is pretty great. They have such a solid lineup. They always translate early game leads into objective control, etc. pp, which means that they will always have evenish games and they always have the chance to win. So they're a secure playoff spot for me too.
The next one is from @CreationMan. I think SK will be pushed out of the top 2 by Gambit. They're playing extremely well, and SK are falling in form. After this game from Gambit, not so sure. What do you think?
It depends on how internal issues may like occur, anything that how they may be fixed. But it's really about like Gambit picking up again after this loss, which is like kind of brutal, especially after like such a long winning streak. You always have the feeling of you have to win. Instead of like you come into each game and just like be even and just like hope to win, and they have to do that.
Last tweet is from @Kronai, chimed in with Krepo leading. I think Elements can make a great run to the playoffs. His playmaking and roaming are incredible. Like, we've only seen 2 games, in one at least, that was the truth. They're up against Copenhagen Wolves next. What do you think he brings?
I think what Krepo brings is basically like something that Noxec brought in his first game too. It's this fearlessness. He knows that he has the potential to always do stuff, and he will not like be scared to do that. Like, he will always go for the play if he can, and I think that's a great attribute to have, especially in a team that has been criticized for such passive play overall.
Yep, and thank you guys for chiming in, of course, and remember to stay in the discussion all week with the hashtag LCS. Now we're about to step away, but when we return, Elements will face the Copenhagen Wolves and look to tie for a playoff position in the standings, while the Wolves set their sights on 4th place. Stay tuned.
Oh, also, Kebo, I found your mouse pad.
Oh, nice. Hey, that's mine. If we lose, you know what's the reason.
Do they have the damage to finish a kill? They do. It's Diamond picking up Lulex. Odoamne, oh so low. Hit up Spinoy, but he's getting chunked away.
Stretch.
No. I'm coming. Free kill.
Rio coming to the rescue. There is going to be the Zhonya's Hourglass. Lulex catching the rest of the members off guard. Lulex going so low, but not going down. In comes Lulex, exhausted immediately, jumps in for a second win. Odoamne picks Benoit. Gambit, they're falling apart. They've snapped Gambit Gaming's win streak and extend their own to 7 in a row.